All right, so let's talk about the 90-degree alley dock. This maneuver can be a little tricky. There's definitely a lot going on here, and there's a lot of wrong ways to do it and only a handful of right ways to do it. You got to have good clutch control, and you have to be looking in the right place and know what the angle is on the truck all the time, and this does require a good deal of skill. So we're going to break things down into steps, and we're going to talk about the do's and the don'ts. So let's get started. So up at the top of the screen, you see you got a red line up there, and that's the Class A boundary line, and it's 70 feet from the corner cones. So the box that you're going to be backing into is 70 feet away from that red line. And then you got the white line that's 50 feet away, and that's the Class B boundary line. Doesn't really apply to Class A people at all, other than the fact that we're going to use it on our setup, which we'll get into here in a minute. The other thing you need to notice is there's a 3-foot box in the back at the bottom of the screen. The DOT bumper of the trailer has to be inside that box when you honk your horn. And also the truck has to be inside of those 2 white stripes that are coming out. But only when you honk your horn. The white stripes that are coming out of the box don't matter until you're in your final position, ready to honk the horn and let the examiner know that you're done. So if it's a red line or a yellow line, don't touch it. If it's a white line, don't worry about it until the very end. So yeah, we're going to use that white line to our advantage. So on our test, when we set up, that white line is going to be really easy to see. And so you just pull up next to it, put that white line on the right side of your truck, and that gives you about 20 feet of space away from the red line, and just kind of gives you some wiggle room, some flexibility. Now on the test, they don't care how far forward you go. They don't care if you're right next to the red line or really far away from the red line, as long as you're parallel with them and at a 90-degree angle to the hole, and as long as the back of your trailer is past the hole. They don't really care where you are. But setting up next to that white line is the perfect spot. All right, you can see he's all set up here. He's out at the white boundary line, putting a little angle on, kind of straightening the wheels, tightening it up gradually, and then kind of opening it up. Nothing too crazy going on here. All he's trying to do is aim that trailer 12 feet away from that corner cone, what we call the green zone. So step 1, get the trailer and the truck aimed at the green zone. Use as many pull-ups as you need to get this done properly. And we really mean that. Use as many pull-ups as you need, because if you come in too close or too far away from those cones, things are just going to get increasingly more difficult to impossible to get it done. So aiming 12 feet out is the sweet spot. It gives you wiggle room, everything's better, and it's absolutely critical that you get your trailer aimed out there before you start trying to get it around and into the box and any of that stuff. Now, if you look at this image, what you see is that the trailer is actually already overshot that green zone. So he needs to pull up. Really, he could just kind of gradually pull up to the right, get the truck and the trailer nice and lined up with the green zone, and then straight line back. But if he keeps coming back to the left, that trailer is going to go in way too close to that cone. So fortunately, this guy recognizes it. Oh man, I've already overshot it. I'm going to pull up and get everything aimed where it needs to be. So now he's good. It's got everything lined up. All you got to do now is just straight line back towards the green zone, and really still not thinking about cutting it, putting angle on, or anything like that yet. We don't want to go in too early. So we're going to a very specific place here. So here we are. Everything's still nice and lined up. He's straight line backing towards the green zone. And what you want to do here is get the back wheels of the trailer somewhere between 12 and 14 feet of those white stripes that are coming out. And, it's always going to be a little bit different depending on which angle you're coming in at. But somewhere between 12 and 14 feet, you stop, and then crank on it all the way to the right and start folding it up. So in this image, you can see we've got close, far, and early and late. So the green zone, the whole reason we have the green zone, it's 12 feet out away from that cone. The reason we do that is because by aiming at that and straight line backing to that, that keeps you from coming in too close or too far. And both of those things are terrible and really difficult to fix. So by having a target and going step by step, that's going to keep you from getting into situations you can't get out of. And then why do we stop 12 to 14 feet away from the green zone before we cut it? Well, that's because being too early or too close can make it impossible to get in without encroaching. Same thing as being too close or too far. And fixing being early is a lot more difficult than it is to fix it being late, believe it or not. And we'll get into both of those things as we go. But just understand that the reason we stop between 12 and 14 feet away from the green zone before we cut is so that we're not too early or too late. So yeah, once that back wheel's 12, 14 feet away, go ahead and crank on it all the way to the right, start folding it up. And of course the trailer starts to move closer and closer to the hole, and the truck gets more and more angle. And then you're just kind of playing with that angle. Sometimes you just straighten the wheels and you can tighten it up that way. Sometimes you got to open more. It's a little bit of a dance. But your main focus is to get that trailer where it needs to be. Because once you have that trailer where it needs to be, then you can worry about getting your truck straight with your trailer. So just like all the other maneuvers, we're getting that trailer in place, and then we're worrying about the truck. So he's got the trailer where it needs to be, which is actually just shy of noon, right? It's about 11:30. Doing a little shimmy, hard right pull up, taking some of that angle off. Now he's going all the way left, usually, and taking the rest of the angle off coming backwards and setting it up so that trailer will drift towards the middle of the hole a little bit. This is a little different every time, but the idea is get that trailer in the center of the hole. He's doing a good job of that. So just to recap the first step here, you're going to make a cut, open it back up, and we're just trying to aim the trailer and the truck at that green zone. Nothing else really matters here. That's all we need to think about. The moment you see that trailer is aimed at the green zone, just shimmy or serpentine or do whatever it is you got to do and pull everything up, get it nice and straight, aimed at the green zone, 12 feet away from that cone, and then head straight back. And that's step one. So here's an example of why the green zone is so important. This guy is aiming really close to the hole, and he's folding it up, and he's going to be late. And there you see, boom, he's encroaching right there. He doesn't even know it. If his trailer was 4 or 5 feet out further than it is right now, he'd be late, but he wouldn't be encroaching. He wouldn't be hitting anything if it was a truck over there. He wouldn't lose points on his test for it. So it really does matter. And the closer you are, when you're this close, it's a lot harder to get it in. Fortunately, what he did there was he pulled forward straight. He recognized he was late and pulled forward straight and then tightened it up. And now he's folding it up again. And starting to pivot it around. Now he's opening it. And that trailer is going to move around as the truck opens up. And you notice how a lot of room opened up on our right side as that trailer pivoted. If we can get that pivoting done further out, it's not so dangerous. So it can be done closer, but it's a lot harder and it's a lot riskier. But here he is, trailer's aimed now. He's got it where it needs to be. A little bit of angle left on the truck, no big deal. The hard part was just getting that trailer where it needs to be. And once it's in place, the rest should be pretty easy. So now that trailer is in place, just gonna do a little shimmy, going hard right, take some angle off, stop, hard left, coming back, taking some more angle off, pushing that trailer back over where it was. And you stop, go hard right, one more pull up, and should be able to just straight line back here. All right, so let's look at another one here. He's making a cut. Everything looks good so far. Kind of straightened his wheels. Starts opening it back up. He's aiming at the green zone. Trailer is just about there. He's kind of going past it now. That's not good. He's overshooting it. It's definitely coming in too close now. Okay, good. Well, he recognized it, so that's good. So he pulled to the left and then kind of went straight. It's just kind of dragging his trailer back over there. You got to be careful for that red boundary line. Well, that's good. Now, he should have addressed that long before he did, but at least he got it sorted out. Now he's aimed at the green zone a little bit better. All right, now he's making a cut, folding it up. He's kind of playing with the angle there. He's opening, which is not a good idea. Oh, Lordy. What's going on over here? So he's two things are going on here. One, he's late, which we can see there. And the other is he's coming in too close. And that's because the green zone wasn't fixed and he started cutting too soon. He didn't really follow the plan. So when you don't follow the plan, things like this happen. There you can see the back wheels really are a little too close for the angle that he's at. And he hasn't actually encroached yet. But he hasn't done a get out and look either. So looks like he's just going to go for it. We'll see what happens. Now, one of the dead giveaways that you see here is the distance between that cone and the DOT bumper. Like the wheels kind of tell you what's going on, but really the distance between the bumper and that cone is way too much. And so that should be a dead giveaway that it's just not right. And he went for it, and now he's encroaching. But here's where it gets worse. He's late, and really what you want to do when you're late is you want to pull forward straight and then tighten it up and come in a little bit earlier. See, the reason he's late is he doesn't have enough angle on. So if he pulls up to the right, thinking it's going to help him, he's just going to take away all that angle. You know, he's worked hard for that angle, but he doesn't have a plan. So there he goes. He's pulling up to the right, takes away all the angle. And then, well, now what? I mean, if you turn left, that ain't it. So he's going to turn right again. And we're right back where we started because he took away all that angle. And then when he turned right, he just went right back where he was. So what you do when you're late is you identify it. Okay, I'm late. You straighten the wheels and then pull forward straight. It's very simple. Going in late, pull up straight. And see, he's just got that back trailer tire now. It's just on the other side of that white line. Didn't have to go too far. And now it's going to tighten it up. And he did lose some angle when he pulled forward straight, but not much. And now he's folding it up. Things look good. He's pivoting. Now he's going to go ahead and open it. And remember, he came in too close. So really this should be happening a little bit further out. It's a lot less risky. You know, this is working, but it would be a whole lot easier and a whole lot safer if all that pivoting was happening further out away from the cones and the boundary lines. So things look pretty good. Yep, trailer is pretty centered in the hole. Doesn't have too bad of a truck problem to fix here. We know what's next. Just going to be a couple little shimmies and get the truck straight with the trailer and straight line back. So here's another example of being late. This one's not as extreme. He hasn't encroached yet, but he's trying to protect the blind side, which is a good thing to do. And, could he tighten it up harder and come back and then open? Probably. But just pulling straight, getting the wheels on the other side of the line, and then tightening it up. And just bought him a little bit more room. Protects that blind side. And now he can start opening it up and bringing it around. So this is an example of what it looks like when you're early. And this isn't like crazy early, it's just on the early side. And as a matter of fact, if you look at the trailer, it's aimed towards the center of the hole. Like you could kind of gradually walk that trailer back into the middle of the hole if you didn't have all that angle on the truck. So really the answer here is to go ahead and shimmy now because the trailer is aimed. And that's pretty important to note here. That trailer is fine. It's just a whole lot of truck angle. So if he tries to keep coming back, we know what's going to happen. All that angle on the truck is going to push that trailer kind of to the point of no return. So this is really important to recognize that trailer is in good shape. It's just too much angle on the truck. So anytime the trailer is aimed, but you have angle on the truck, you just shimmy, and that solves all those problems. But he's not recognizing that, right? He's in that mode where, well, I made it this far. I'm gonna make it work. And so he goes hard left, and boom, there we are. We're encroaching. And now it's a lot harder to fix. So if he just pulls up to the right, it's game over because he doesn't have enough room in front of him to really get enough of that angle off and move that trailer over so that it aims towards the middle of the hole. He just doesn't have room. I mean, if this was an offset and he had, 100 something feet in front of him, sure, he could do whatever he needs to do. But with a 70-foot boundary, you can only do so much. So just pulling up to the right, just like when you go in late, if you pull up to the right, it's gonna get worse. So what he's got to do is he's got to pull to the left and pull that trailer over with him and aim it back over where it was. Take a little of that angle off the truck. And then when he comes back, he has to kind of open it. Not necessarily all the way, but opening so that trailer is going to get around that line. And then if he needs to tighten it back up and whatnot, he can do all that stuff. But a lot harder than it had to be. He could have just shimmied. So recognizing when your trailer is aimed, that's key. So here's another example, not quite as extreme, but it is going to be on the early side. And remember, we never want to bring this trailer past 12 o'clock, but we want to stop before it gets to 12, like it is right there, and then determine if we want to shimmy here or if we want to take it to 12 o'clock and then shimmy, but definitely never take the trailer past 12 o'clock. It's not that it couldn't ever work, it's that it usually doesn't, so just don't do it. Shimmying early here is a good move. And there you go. Okay, so now we're going to see some examples of alley docking gone wrong. And he's putting some angle on, and so far so good. And he puts on a little more than he needs to when he's opening. And, okay, as long as he's aiming for this green zone, it's fine. And there he is. He stops and he's aimed at the green zone. So things should be fine. He should just pull up. But he doesn't. He comes back. And of course, that trailer now is aimed just a couple feet away from that cone. And that's not enough room to get around it. So he is aiming in too close and just doesn't seem to care about that. So, all right, back he goes and crank on it hard right, folding it up. So if he can make it around the boundary on the left, he's still going to be late and hit the boundary on the right. And that's why being too close is so difficult, because you're trying to get around one side and you end up hitting the other. So he's way late, and pulling up straight isn't going to help him. Pulling up to the right isn't going to help him because he's got a trailer problem. He's got a giant trailer problem. And the only thing that's really going to fix this is just, we're late again, is just pulling way out and aiming at the green zone. Like talking like 100-foot pull up. Just get way back out there, aim at the green zone, and then come back the way you're supposed to. This is just, this is how you fail a backing test. So he's trying so hard to get around that corner. You can't touch the paint. He's trying, so he's at a full-on pivot. I mean, he's past a 90-degree right now. Just trying to stay off that yellow paint with his left tire. Dangerously close on the right. So yeah, when you're at a 90-degree angle like that and you go hard left to open it up, it's going to slide those trailer tires over a little bit. So right now he's not encroaching, but he will be. Boom, slides those tires over onto the paint. So he had so much angle that it pushed the wheels to the left. They didn't even roll. They just got pushed over. So yep, that's an encroachment. And again, there's really just nothing he can do here to make this work. He's got to pull way back out, fix this trailer problem, get aimed at the green zone, and start over. Let's see what happens. He's pulling to the right. Still hasn't fixed the trailer problem. Okay, getting there. Getting there. All right. Got that trailer aimed at the green zone now. Okay, good. So now he just needs to go straight back until the back trailer tires get 12 to 14 feet away from the white stripes, which he's on track to do. It's got a little bit of angle on him. It's not a deal breaker yet. By the way, you can see that crater in the asphalt that shows you where you should be pivoting. And, you can pivot a little outside of that or a little inside of that, but that's the spot. So, all right, I mean, this isn't terrible. He's definitely risking coming in too close. He's tightening. That's not good. Okay, it looks like he recognizes it. Now he's opening it up, I think. There you go. Yeah, he's opening it up. He's trying to get around it now. He recognizes he's early. So he's opening, but really now you can kind of see he's going to make it around, but he kept opening. And now it's just drifting, and it's about to encroach. But he stopped, so that's good. He recognized it. Or not. And we've blown out the back now. So that's not good. And the examiners on the test, by the way, they're not going to let it get that bad. They're going to stop you by blowing the whistle. The moment you touch the line, sometimes just before you touch the line. Just depends on which way the wind's blowing. So, okay, he was late and he's pulling up straight, so that's good. This is still fixable. He pulled up straight. He's got the back wheel on the other side of the line. So that's good. This is fine. All right, and he's cutting it all the way to the right, folding it up. Looks okay. Still folding, still folding. And it thinks he's got enough now. He went back a little more. And a little more. That's good. Protect that blind side. Now he's opening. Bringing it around. Good. Boom. He's at just about 12 o'clock. That's good. He's stopping, doing a shimmy. Good. Not too greedy. Set himself up for the next move. This looks good. Uh-oh. Oh, no. That's bad. Don't let that happen. All right, let's watch another one. Setup looks fine. Putting a little angle on. Oh, he needs to put a little more angle on there. Okay. All right, now he's opening. Trailer is almost at the green zone. And there it is. He really should stop there. But he just kept going. Not again. All right, so now he's coming in pretty close. It's still doable here, but why? Why do that? Okay, he's tightening it up. Seems like it's going really fast. All right. It's pivoting. Kind of hard to tell what's going on here. Okay. Oh, man, he's on the early side. That's what's going on. So, okay. Trailer's in a good spot. I mean, he's definitely on the early side of things, but he stopped before he got to noon, so that's good. That trailer's great, man. Trailer looks fine. It's definitely early, but he's gonna make it around. And yeah, the trailer is. We can get a different angle here. The trailer is perfect. So he should stop and shimmy here. That's what he should do. But he's gonna keep coming back to the left by the looks of it. But look at it though, man. That trailer's fine. It's just a truck problem. All he's got to do is pull up to the right and shimmy a couple times. But no, he's going hard left. And there we are. Yeah. And pulling up to the right won't help. Okay, he's pulling left. That's good. He's fixing his trailer problem. Now he just needs to pull up to the right and take some angle off the truck. All right, cool. There we go. He should still go hard left and come back and get some of that angle off and let that trailer drift towards the middle. There you go. Yeah. Cool. I'm going to make it. I'll keep opening, man. Keep opening. So I'd like to see him do one more shimmy here so that trailer can drift a little more towards the middle. He's fine here, but he's tighter on the left side than he needs to be. And by continuing to come around, it's keeping him pinned up over there. So he really should have pulled up one more time just to let it drift towards the middle. He's got plenty of room on his right side. But, we're fine. This works. Yeah, he's okay. All right. So this guy's getting set up. He could stand to pull forward a little more here. Yeah, he's not really giving himself quite enough room to get things done. He definitely should have pulled up more on his setup. So he's probably going to be a little far away from the green zone here. He just doesn't have enough room to get everything done. You know, he's next to the white line, but he just wasn't far enough forward. So, okay, he's folding it. And yeah, it's not looking good. He's definitely aiming really far away from the green zone. And not going to be able to get his truck around. He probably could have pulled it off if he would have opened it up sooner. But he just put too much angle on, and then now this is happening. So this can be pretty devastating, and fixing it can be pretty tough. Fortunately, he stopped before. Oh, this guy in the orange truck. Gotta get it together. So, okay, we're going hard left. We're diving in. And that's what we got to do. This is a giant, giant fix here. He's diving hard left. And then he's going to swoop back out to the right. And now he can't see anything out of his left mirror. So he's flying blind here. And he's going to pop the truck back over to the left so he can see, and hopefully he's on target, which he pretty much is. He's aimed at the green zone. So miracles can happen. This is good. So now he's straight line back to the green zone. But that is a big fix, and it's unnerving when you can't see anything out of your mirrors. But an ounce of prevention, my friends. Yeah, looks good. He's all right. All right, this guy's set up really, really close. He's pretty much already aimed at the green zone, and you know what? That's not wrong. It's totally okay to do it this way. It's a little more difficult in some ways, but I just want to show you that it can be done, and some people have a closer approach when they do alley docks. Some people are more in the middle. Some people are more of a far away backer. And there really are a lot of different ways to do this. The way we're showing you in this video is not the only way to do it. But it's a way that is consistent and works. So that's what we do. This guy, when you're this close, and he's got no angle on, he's got to wait a little bit longer before he starts cutting it, or else he's going to go in too close. So there he goes, and he's cranking on it. Got a lot of work to do here. Got a lot of trailer to move. And there he goes. He's in pivot land. Those wheels are pivoting. And he really kind of needs to, he doesn't need to fully open it up. He just needs to kind of keep that angle and rotate around. So you can use a series of hard left and then wheel straight, hard left, wheel straight to make that trailer go where you want it. Definitely keeping an eye on your angle all the time. So he's kind of holding that angle there. Now he's starting to open it more. It's a risky move because you have to keep that angle for a long time. It's not really advisable. There are some situations you'd have to approach that way, but this isn't one of them. But at the end of the day, he's turned it into an offset. I mean, that's what you always do. You always end up with this picture, whether you're from a far away approach or a close approach or an up the middle approach. You always kind of turn it into this, which is a lot like an offset when you think about it. That last step of the offset where you just walk it in, it's kind of what we have here. Let's see what he does. Taking some off. Yeah, he's opening a little bit. He's trying to get around it. And there he recognizes, okay, I'm going to get around it. So now he's going to go back to tightening it again. And put some more angle on, push that trailer over. And that might be enough. Should really do a get out and look here. Opening it up, pushing the trailer around. Right about 12 o'clock-ish, not quite, which is fine. So one more thing to think about, you're only going to get 2 get out and looks for this maneuver. You're going to get a ton of pull-ups. Assuming that you didn't bomb on the straight line and the offset, you're going to get a ton of pull-ups to do this maneuver. So use them. Don't even think twice. Just pull up. It's way better than encroaching. But you're only going to get 2 get out and looks for this whole maneuver, and only 2. So you're going to use that first one before you do your shimmy, right? So when that trailer is at like 11:30, you get out, determine where you're at. Should I come back a little more and then shimmy, or should I go ahead and shimmy now? And then you save that second get out and look for the very end here. It can be tough to see if you've got it inside that 3-foot box or not. So some people like to stop a little bit shy of it and then get out and determine how much longer they need to back up. And that's a good strategy for sure. You definitely don't want to blow out the back and get points for encroaching. But you'll dial into it over time. It's kind of trial and error and doing a get out and look and get back in and see where you're at, and you dial in. But when you get out, make sure that you check both sides of your truck and trailer and make sure you're inside the white lines. So when you get in, you honk the horn to let the examiner know you're done with the maneuver. You will pass, and you will move on to the road test.